Why is king activity crucial in chess endgames? Imagine a game where the pieces are fewer, but the battle is just as fierce. That's what happens in the endgame, where the king transforms from a cautious protector into a key attacker. You might wonder why this change is so important. Well, as the game progresses and pieces are exchanged, the king's role shifts dramatically. It becomes a powerful force that can influence the final outcome. In the early parts of the game, the king stays safe behind pawns and other pieces. But in the endgame, safety is less of a concern because fewer pieces are on the board. This is when the king's activity becomes a game changer. Moving the king toward the center or into the action allows it to support pawn advances and control critical squares. This control can block the opponent's king and prevent their pawns from promoting. Supporting pawn promotion is one of the main reasons why an active king is so vital. When a pawn is close to becoming a queen, the king helps escort it safely. Without the king's help, the opponent's king might block or capture the pawn, stopping the promotion. The king's presence can make the difference between a pawn becoming a queen or being stopped. Another reason is controlling important squares. The king can occupy key spots that restrict the opponent's king and pieces. This limits their options and creates pathways for your pawns to push forward. When the king is active, it can also use a technique called opposition, where two kings face each other with one square in between. This can force the opponent into making a disadvantageous move, giving you a strategic advantage. Centralization is also crucial. When the king is in the middle of the board, it can quickly shift to support attacks or defend. A passive king stuck behind pawns or in a corner is less effective. Moving the king into the center allows it to participate actively in both offense and defense. Transitioning from a defensive role to an offensive one is a key principle in endgame strategy. The king starts to capture enemy pawns, defend its own, and control the tempo of the game. This active involvement often decides who wins or loses. Practically, players should move their king toward the center early in the endgame. Avoid keeping it hidden or passive because that usually means losing control of important squares. Techniques like gaining opposition and careful maneuvering help in converting endgames into wins. In summary, the king's activity in the endgame turns it into a versatile and powerful piece. It supports pawn promotion, controls critical squares, and creates strategic advantages. This active role often determines the final result of the game.